My name is Chad Houston, and the goal is to talk to you today about screencasting on the fly. You want to make a quick video, and you want to engage kids. How do you do it? Hopefully today I'll give you some tips and tricks on how it might make it a little bit easier for you. Here's our agenda. We're going to quickly look at what is a screencast, great ways, why do it, not just because it's a good way to clone yourself, but some other factors also that you may want to think about. Top tips as far as materials, methods, and any questions you may have. This first page that I have here, I try to use the same kind of template each time to make it a little visually stimulating. And I have this tip trick, or this right here is a link to the Code of Pedagogy, Jennifer Gonzalez, number 144. Wonderful, great research-based tips and tricks and methods for screencasting. You might want to get a decent stylus. This is the one that I use, which is nice. I have a touch screen, and they don't cost very much, but they can come in extremely handy. There are screen capturing softwares. There's 3 that I have here that I have links to. I'll have links to these in the bottom of the video. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel or contact me, not a problem. So let's get going. What is a screencast? Hey, you've got some kind of information. You want to get it to the kids. It might be just a little low-level type of information, and you maybe a pre-lab, maybe a short lecture. This is one way to do it. You could make a quick little video. Question is, why should we do this? Well, first of all, I would love to be in the classroom and do it. One of the reasons I started doing it, you may have heard of this as called flipped assignments, and the idea was you could take small lectures, and I try not to lecture too much, but you can take small lectures, assign it for homework, hopefully keep the kids accountable some way, and then do the homework problems in class where you could actually differentiate, talk to the kids, maybe do some remedial work. That's when it's found to be very effective, or even go on and do demonstrations or labs. So these are a couple of reasons, and a couple more just in case somebody might need practice. If you want to deliver notes and practice note taking. And another nice thing you can do is, if you notice with this slide presentation that I have, I can take out some of the notes, change it a little bit, make a PDF, and it becomes guided notes that the kids can have and they can use while they're watching the video, which is a great trick that I learned from Jennifer Gonzalez. It could be good for pre-labs. You can even include these for formative and summative assessments. So real quick, what are some things you're going to need as far as materials go? You're going to need some sort of screen capturing software. These are 3 that I think are fantastic and free to some extent. Definitely check with your district, with your tech person, with your department chair. I know that our district invested in Screencastify, and everyone's been very happy with it. But there are other ones out there that are very good as well, and there are all kinds of different price ranges. So you'll need something to capture your screen. The second thing is, when you do this, it's helpful if you at least attempt to make it visually stimulating. Instead of always putting down words and notes, maybe you can substitute a picture because you're going to be talking about it, and the kids will have to put in the notes themselves. Here's an idea. Also, you probably want to put in some questions, right? To kind of say, hey, here's the question. What do you think the answer is? Let's write that down. Something we can talk about the next day. So you kind of want to keep kids on their toes just so they're not falling asleep. A stylus. Again, here's the one that I use, which I really enjoy. Not very expensive. And the reason that I like it is because on this one, you can see that you can draw, you can imagine if you're doing all kinds of things, you can easily solve problems. Much easier to do it with a good stylus than with your mouse. So that's something that's also very, very helpful. Next is, I'm going to have to erase this now. Awkward. Okay. So next is timing. Okay. So with the timing, get a watch and make sure you check, because research shows that if you go beyond 7.5 minutes, that's the magic number, exponentially kids' attention drops like a rock. So you don't want to go more than 7.5 minutes. And to do this, it helps to practice. Now, I know you're saying, hey, if you're telling me I can do this on the fly, that's going to add more time, but it's going to make for a little bit of a cleaner version that you can use over and over and over. Also, you don't have to put your face in it. I know I've been told by my students I've got the perfect face for podcasting, trying to take that personally. But I think in this day and age, I want to be a little more personal with my kids. To say, hey, here's my face, and I'm more about the process as opposed to perfection, And so I just would like to see people's faces and not just hear a voice, and so just to kind of let them know. So the next thing is, yeah, and one thing you can do is when you can print this out. Typically, what I do a printed version, like 2 slides per page. I practice a few times to make sure I have the timing about right. You can publish it to the web if you want to go through it, or just hit the present. You can put little notes on it. You can also save the PDF and put it as a link at the bottom of your YouTube video, which is also very helpful because students can have access to it. And again, it can act as a way, something they can use, or you could require for guided notes. Now, we've talked about the PDF version, which helps. Nice. But here's a nice little trick too. I know that there's some programs that you can put videos in programs and questions pop up and get feedback. Well, you can do the same thing with a Google form. You can very easily just, once you have this on YouTube or someplace, you can put it in a Google form, have questions that they have to answer in the Google form. You get a record of when they did it, how they did it. You can even have it, depending on your questions, have it grade for you, which is really nice, depending on how you do it. And one question I always like to ask, which is super important, is number one, can you tell me if you have any questions about this topic? And I do care about that. It's a little formative assessment. And I want to know how the kids are feeling. We've gone through some tough times, and just that's helped me to have a little more empathy into what's going on in their lives. Okay, so that is a quick little rundown on how to do this on the fly. And one of the things, I try to practice what I preach. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask.